Welcome to Lipstick Attitude, hosted by Dr. Elizabeth King, psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, author, and motivational speaker, specializing in trauma and women's mental health, and Yvonne Haase, psychotherapist and coach specializing in relationships, couples, and women's issues. This show is your dose of inspiration, information, and laughter. In each episode, Dr. King and Yvonne bring you hacks, tips, and inspiring stories to help you live a successful life. So ladies, grab your lipstick. It's time to do this. The Lipstick Attitude podcast is powered by Suit Stilettos and Lipstick Foundation, a nonprofit movement to empower women and children from all walks of life to be resilient, self-confident, and purposeful leaders through education, mentorship, and community outreach. To learn more, visit sslwomen.org. Please note that this show is intended to empower and educate. It is not meant to be utilized as a substitute for individual therapy.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Lipstick Attitude. I am Dr. Elizabeth King, and my co-host, you know who she is, Yvonne Haase. Hi, Yvonne.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and here we are planning the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, anything that you celebrate. December is jam-packed with all of that. So today our program is going to be about surviving the holiday blues. We know that a lot of you suffer from that, and we want to talk about it. But before we begin our topic of today, we want to just make a brief announcement about a very special event that's coming up on December 9th, which is just a couple of days from now. So just jot this down, and you can find all of this information that we're going to chat about on sslwomen.org. But Yvonne, you want to kick it off by inviting our listeners to this very special event?
Yes, we are having the 19th annual John and Elizabeth annual toy drive on December 9th, and you can register for tickets at sslwomen.org. And we're going to have some fun. It's going to be a virtual event, of course, because obviously due to COVID, everything looks a little bit differently. But I'm super excited because Dr. King is sharing the very famous recipe for the John L. Teeny. So to get the secret ingredients and to figure it out, you gotta get online and register and get a ticket.
Absolutely. And just so that everybody knows, if you don't know already, this is a very special event, very near and dear to my heart. As you all know, or some of you may not know, I don't know what rock you've been hiding under, but if you are in the local area, you have heard of our toy drive. It has become a community event. This is an event that my late husband, John, and I started 19 years ago in our home. And instead of asking our guests to bring a bottle of wine or something to eat, we would ask for a toy for underprivileged children in our community. And from there, it has been an amazing journey. It is now a huge community event. We collect thousands and thousands of toys, and we actually do the distribution with our volunteer group. And the children are just so grateful, and so are the families. And especially this year when the families are struggling even more than ever before. We are looking to collect toys for about 3,000 children. And we have many ways that you can participate if you cannot attend the event. On December 9th, we are hosting a raffle that is an online raffle, and you can buy tickets on our website, again, sslwomen.org. And here's the cool part about this is that we're going to have the drawing on December 9th, but you do not need to be present to win. And so that's pretty cool. And for $10, basically, well, for $25, you are providing toys for 2 kids, for $50 for 5 kids, and for $100, you're providing toys for 10 kids, and so on and so forth. So figure about $10 buys a child a toy. So that's the way I see it. Every time we get a donation, whether it's $20 or $1,000, I just see the faces of those children that are getting those toys. So we're very excited by that. There's other ways that you can also contribute. You can just go on our website and just donate. If you don't want to buy raffle tickets, you just want to donate, sslwomen.org. Or if you want to write a check to us, just write it out to Stilettos and Lipstick Foundation and mail it to our address, which is on the website. And you can contact us if you would like to have more information. You can contact me by emailing me at drking@sslwomen.org. Again, this is such an important time for children. And, you know, a lot of people say that toys, why buy toys, especially when we're in this pandemic and families are struggling. But we know as mental health professionals and me as an educator that toys are not just for kids to play with. They really learn socialization skills, they learn play, they learn hope. It's just such an important piece. It's not just a toy. So for $10, you're providing a lot more than just a toy for a child. You're providing a lifetime of hope for them.
Absolutely. And I think now more than ever, we're looking for a little normalcy in all of this craziness.
A little, a lot, yes. 2020 has certainly been challenging. By the way, for the event, we hope that you're going to attend because it's going to be super fun. Yes, I am going for the first time ever going to share the recipe, and I'm going to be a mixologist on that day, and I'm going to go step by step showing everyone on how to mix the John Altini, which is also a drink that my late husband and I created 19 years ago, and everybody looks forward to having every single year when we do our toy drive. So we did not want to eliminate something so important and crucial to our event. So that's going to be part of it. And then on top of that, we have a comedian that's going to be part of it. And his name is Stuart. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but I'm super excited. And then Marina Lorendi, I can pronounce her last name, is going to be singing and performing for us from Buffalo, New York. And she's going to be coming in virtually. So super excited about that as well. So it's going to be a fun night.
Wait, don't forget, we have a Santa hat competition that night too.
Oh yes, and we have
a special guest will be judging the competition. So we have a Santa hat.
Yeah, so you can win the contest. It's actually 3 categories. I think it's sassiness, creativity, and something else, wacky or something like that.
Or something.
It's on the website, so don't quote me on those. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and it's only like $15-20. And every single penny of that goes to buy toys for these children. So help us, help the children. We are supporting the Boys and Girls Club this year, and those children deserve to have a little bit of happiness during this very, very stressful time. So help us out and be part of the change. We really do appreciate anything that you can do for us. And if you're a big time sponsor out there, you can give more, please do, because this year has been very, very stressful for us to try to fundraise to make this all happen. So if you are in a position to donate more and be part of this in a bigger way, we hope that you consider us as a way to give back to our communities and our children. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak about that, because that's such an important event for me. And I think also as we dive into our topic today, you will see how giving back will really help your spirits. It certainly helps ours. So we hope you consider that. So, all right, we ready, Yvonne?
We're ready. We're talking holiday blues today.
Holiday blues. So oftentimes we hear this from our patients. As soon as October hits the year, right, we start hearing about more and more people feeling depressed, feeling anxious, feeling all kinds of ways that are not good. And we deal with that in our practice, and we always bring it up when we do our shows, because I think it's so important to remind people why it's happening and how they can resolve it. So let's talk about some of the reasons that people have the holiday blues. Well, this year more than ever, right? We have a whole bunch of stuff going on, and besides what everybody experiences every year, this year we have COVID pandemic, and just not being able to be with family members or having to adjust the way you're with family members does bring a lot of holiday blues and sadness, right? I think about this for my own self. Like, I haven't been able to see my daughter and my grandchildren, my grandsons, in almost a year, literally.
Yeah.
Because they live in New York and I'm in Florida and have not been able to get there. So, it is sad when you don't have your family members around and you can't plan. So it's an added layer of why people are feeling this coming on even earlier than ever before. So I think even in June, like by the 4th month after COVID happened, I think people started to already talk about, well, what am I going to do for the holidays? I'm not going to get to see my family, and of course, we also have to remember how many people have lost loved ones during COVID.
Yes.
So, there's that grief and loss too. So, or how many of their family members are actually sick. So there are a lot of reasons because of COVID that we
people
are
lost their
impacted.
jobs,
Lost their jobs
because of COVID, or there's just really the fear of becoming sick that has, impeded people in being able to see people or just cope. It's that constant fear.
Which leads us to, talking about stress, right? If you want to tackle stress, Yvonne, because I think that's really, his stress has heightened to the I don't know, a million power, right, at this point.
I mean, if you think about it, with holiday stress, we have all the normal stress, right? There's the food prep for holidays and deciding, where you're going to be and who's going to do what. There is just the shopping, because unless you're that amazing person who does all their holiday shopping during like Christmas in July, if you are, we hate you. Just kidding. We love you. I hate you. But the rest of us are waiting until the very last minute. And so we're trying to cram that in. For a lot of people, they're working. And for some people, that means even working more. I mean, I'm working more, and I know you are working more too, Dr. King, because this is our busy season. Yes. Because of all the holidays. So people are stressed from shopping, from planning, from just general work, and then COVID on top of it. So stress is a huge reason for the holiday blues.
Yes, and then you add COVID again to the finance part. But even under normal circumstances, people go into the holiday blues, have holiday blues because of their finances, because you, like you said, Yvonne, you talked about shopping. Well, if you don't have the money to shop, that's stressful. So now so many folks have lost their jobs or have had to cut back their hours or, are maybe fearing the numbers are rising. Are they going to shut down again? So will I not have a job? And so I need to, keep some money back. So the finances is a huge piece, right? Because when you can, number one, see your way to how you're going to pay your bills, or how you're going to feed your family, or how you're going to buy toys for your kids, that really adds a huge burden to your life. And people talk about, it's time to, have fun. It's the holidays, where a lot of people are thinking that's for you, but how about me, who does not have the money to go out and buy anything? Hence, back to the toy drive, why we are so committed to the toy drive this year, even though it's so difficult to fundraise because it's a vicious cycle. But we know that there are families out there really, truly struggling, that, it's a choice between feeding their family and buying a toy and most likely the child's not going to get the toy. So we need to help and
Right.
support. But yeah, finances is huge.
Finances is huge. Loneliness is another big factor, especially so many people. I get so many clients coming in crying because they watch well, down here we have Publix. I don't know about all over the place, but I'm sure every grocery store has their holiday commercial. And when you watch it, it's beautiful. They're beautifully done. But for a lot of people who are alone, and especially during COVID, if you're unable to be with family, sometimes just watching that is just this painful reminder of the fact that we might be single. So I think it's about 43% of Americans are single and 27% of them live alone, and then 17% of single people are over the age of 65 and may have health or, mobility issues that make it harder for them to see people.
Mm-hmm. And so, and with loneliness, you go into, there's loneliness that comes from grief and loss, right? We talked about this a little bit earlier on, in that a lot of people have lost loved ones, whether to COVID or something else, right? I remember when I lost my husband, John, to almost 3 years ago, when the holidays came around, it was really hard. And I think my lucky stars every single day that I had such an amazing community and support system, because it was very, very painful to even think about the holidays, especially with us. It was a really big deal for us. And so, he loved the holidays. So that made it even more painful to not have him there. But when you're going through grief and loss, you're going to feel the holiday blues even more intensified, because now you're not only just grieving the loss of a loved one, you're also are experiencing that void in your life. And then everybody else is celebrating around you and you don't feel like celebrating. There's that void that's missing. And so super stressful. And for seniors, seniors definitely are in a worse predicament, because a lot of seniors live alone or they live in a nursing home, and if they have lost their partner of many years. I remember when my father-in-law lost his wife of 67 years. I mean, it's a lifetime, 67 years. And how do you get over that? So that's another reason that people have real strong sadness during the holidays.
Another area is, and especially during this COVID time, our divorce rates have increased tremendously. And a lot of people are actually, when they start off at the beginning of the year thinking, I want to have my divorce wrapped up by the end of the year, they don't realize the end of the year is the holidays, and they're going to go through the end of their marriage during the holiday season, and they don't realize the impact that will have on them. And then when you have when you're now a divorced family and you have adult children and they've got to visit you, the other parent, they've got to visit their in-laws. It was funny when we were trying to figure out Thanksgiving in my house. I said, God, we have to figure out all these different, how to visit everybody. And my husband said, he goes, yeah, getting married is almost like being a child of divorce. He's like, I've lived my whole life trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be through the holidays and splitting that time. So it can be very stressful.
Yeah, it is stressful. I remember when my daughter used to come down for the holidays. Gosh, I dream of that day again, even though it was so stressful for her. She had to go to her grandparents, to our house, to her in-laws, to her dad's house. So it was like one bite here, one bite there. And so just so very stressful. Let's talk about, the other side of that spectrum, though. How about if you don't have family, because you have been estranged from them.
Yeah.
You haven't seen them in a long time. And so you feel like so lonely and just alone. Honestly, I have to tell you that, and this is a total side note on a personal basis. Even though I'm not estranged with my family, I talk to them, because of COVID, I have felt this loneliness. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had moments that I have, cried myself to sleep, like I'm alone. And because I haven't seen my family, I can't. So whether you're not speaking to them or you're just because of COVID, not being able to be near them, that feeling of sadness is overwhelming for sure.
Oh, it runs very deep. Also, I think through the holidays, we do a lot of people pleasing. We're trying to please our relatives, trying to decide, finding that perfect gift. And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to find all my perfect gifts online because I'm not going into a mall right now. So it makes it even harder, I think, for some of us, but you're trying to decide who to see, what to do. And if you can end up feeling like at the end of it, you're just not doing enough. And that whole not enough feeling can lead very much into depression and holiday blues. In fact, I see a lot of people who say at the end of it, they almost resent the holidays.
They don't look forward to it at all.
They don't look forward to it at all.
Yeah, which it really leads us to the next reason why people suffer from the holiday blues is the mental health issues. And we want to really stress this because this could be serious. So there's a difference between, feeling sad about it situationally where, something happened, you lost a loved one, things have changed, COVID, whatever it is, and those are situational things. But if you have a mental health issue already that you're dealing with, such as depression, anxiety, OCD, SAD, which many people experience. It's the blues during the gloomy weather. Some people feel that, like up north, seasonal affect disorder is what it stands for SAD. If you suffer from any of those things, the holidays will exacerbate it. It will make it more extreme. It will make it feel a lot heavier and deeper pain, if that makes any sense. People, and I'm sure you can attest to this too, Yvonne, that our patients, our clients, as soon as October, even September, I even get people in September saying, what am I going to do with this anxiety that I already have when the holidays come in full force? I'm not going to be able to deal with this. So we talk a lot about, what can you do? And that's what we really want to do today, is to share what you can do with this feeling that you feel overwhelmed. Because, this show is really about giving you tools and giving you a community that cares, so that you know that you are not doing life alone. So we want to talk about now what you can do to help you get out of that funk.
Yeah, I think one of the things you can do is learn to embrace your imperfections. This is not going to be a television commercial. Holidays are not a commercial, right? So we have to be aware and not allow our perfectionism to essentially wear us down or to make us feel like we're not doing enough because it doesn't look the way it's portrayed on a commercial or in a movie.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. I'm working with someone right now that, she was having a panic attack the other day because she knew that she wanted to do the decorating and all that. And it was just overwhelming because she didn't think it was going to come out the way she wanted it to. So she was obsessing. Now she suffers from anxiety and OCD behavior. So again, this perfectionism, is really vital for her. And so we had to talk about, ways that she could work around that. But, don't allow your perfectionism to wear you down, for sure.
I think you can learn a lot from kids doing that. Every year I used to roll out cookies and I would make these perfect cutout cookies for them to decorate. Man, they slap, paint and all kinds of stuff on it. They think it's the most beautiful thing ever. I'm like, it's a big lesson for us, I think.
It is absolutely true, because if you think about it, when you decorate for the holidays, it all looks beautiful. I mean, it's colorful and it's beautiful and it's lit up. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be out of, what is it, HGTV or out of, a magazine. It just could be you. It could be your style, and just embrace it and enjoy it. Also make plans in advance so that you have a schedule, so that you know when things are happening, and plan events, virtual events with your loved ones, with different people, so that you have a lot of activity, not a lot of downtime during this time. Plan outdoor activities to celebrate your holidays. I think, Yvonne, you did that for Thanksgiving, right?
We did. We had 2 celebrations, and one was in my backyard and the other one was in my brother's backyard. And everybody was socially distant and ate with their own family. And it was, you know what? All that mattered was that we had an opportunity to see each other. Didn't matter that we weren't sitting at the same table.
And you wore a mask
and we wore a mask. Yeah. The whole time.
So, the whole time. So you did it safely, and you got it done. And, I think, one thing that COVID has done, if there's a good thing that came out of COVID, is that it really has allowed many of us to pivot to doing something different, and being flexible, and being creative with how we get together. So, think about it, make plans. I had a couple of clients that said to me, oh, I don't want to bother my friends, so I'm not telling them that I'm here alone sulking and crying. Well, why not? How are your friends going to know? Why don't you say, hey, what are you doing? Or, maybe they are thinking the same thing, and maybe they would appreciate another option, if they knew that you didn't have anything to do. So make plans with people. Absolutely.
And then the next one, ladies, listen up, because I think we put this somewhere. This is something that is in every one of our podcasts. Ask for help. You don't have to be the single person to create everybody's magical moment for the holidays without help. So ask for help from your family, ask help from your kids, just ask help from your friends. If you're feeling lonely and you don't have someone to be part of for the holidays, ask for help for that. Ask one of your friends, can I join your celebration? Most people are more than happy to welcome in other people. And they're also very happy to help for the holidays because it's stressful for everyone.
Exactly. Going back to the pay it forward, I think that is fundamental in mental well-being. If I don't stress that enough, then I'm not doing a great job, because that is really our platform for SSL Foundation, and everything we do is paying it forward. We know for a fact that when you pay it forward, you stop thinking about your own circumstances, and you stop comparing yourself to what you don't have, and start looking at all the blessings that you do have. Because there are people out there that have so much less than you that could really use your help. And if it's you right now going through a tough time and you're listening to this because you lost a job, there is someone out there that could help you out. But guess what? If you don't have finances to help somebody out, you have time. Give of your time. Volunteer in whatever capacity you can. And if you're afraid to go out because of COVID, do something virtual. Like, we are engaging volunteers all over the place to help us with curriculum writing, with social media, where you don't have to be around other people. There are ways. I don't use the excuse that you don't have money and that you don't know what to do. There are things for you to do. And if you can just get out of your own headspace for 1 minute, you will see how much there is to do and how much of an impact you will have. It will be good for you, and it will certainly be good for the person receiving. And if nothing else, put in a shameless plug. December 9th, we're doing a huge event to raise money for children, for the toy drive. And, participate in that, whatever you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Remember to take care of yourself. You've got to make time for self-care through this, holiday season. And I think especially with COVID, when people are working so much from home, that self-care has been kind of thrown out the window because people are like, well, I'm working from home anyway, so I'll just keep working more instead of putting in that extra time to, try some rest, sleep in on a Saturday, go to bed early at night, and just rejuvenate yourself and recharge your batteries.
Or if you're in bed too much, because obviously if you're in a depressive mode, you're not getting up. Get up and exercise, go out for a walk, go and do something that will raise your energy level. So it depends on where you're at emotionally. If you're down, you need to bring yourself up. And if you're up, you're too anxious, bring yourself down and find ways to meditate, yoga, prayer, all those things. And be really careful with your carbs and sugar intake. Be super, super careful, because that really changes your ability to deal with emotions, and your moods will spike up and it will drop down very, very quickly.
Yeah. And speaking of limit, be very conscious of your alcohol intake for those people who drink, because the holidays tend to be an excuse or a reason for people to overindulge in drinking. And, if you're already depressed, you're drinking a liquid depressant. If you're anxious, you might feel like you're reducing your anxiety, but if you drink too much, you're actually increasing your anxiety levels for sure. Plus, it can create family conflict and create, us feeling bad the next day. You lose a whole day sometimes if you have too much to drink the night before. So watch how much you drink over the holidays.
Yeah, well, and people have been drinking a lot through COVID, right? We know that alcohol consumption has increased tremendously. And so we are now, I don't know, 8 months into this thing, something like that, and people are drinking more and more, which is creating another problem. And we know that alcohol is a depressant, so if you already suffer from depression, not the thing to be doing all the time.
Right.
Here's the thing: be honest with the people that you love, that love you back. There is no shame in feeling sadness. We talk about this all the time. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be excited about the holidays. It's okay to be grieving a loved one. Your loss is your loss, and you have the right to feel that, but you need to be honest. It's okay for you to say, I don't have the money this year to buy, all these gifts. Can we do, like can we just pull a name out of a hat and just give one gift as opposed to 10? Be creative, and people will actually appreciate your honesty, and really come to support you if you ask for help. So just be honest. Don't be ashamed of whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, to share it with people that you love. And here's the thing: if someone does not support you when you're being honest, or is not understanding, guess what, folks? Those are not your friends.
Right.
Those are the people you need to detox from. And we talk about that all the time, which we will talk about more as we prepare for the new year, because we need you to think about who is in your life and who needs to go. So that's a real good test. If you are honest about your holiday blues and you don't get the support that you need, tell them, bye-bye.
Yep. You don't get to come into the new year with me.
Yeah, you're done. Done.
You're done. And please just don't isolate over the holiday season. Don't barricade yourself in your home because you think that you don't have friends or family to be with. Like Dr. King was saying earlier, you can always volunteer. You can always give back to the community. You will feel tremendous gratitude from that. And listen, for other people out there who have family, if you know someone who's going to be alone, invite them to your virtual event. Reach out to that person during the holidays. They might not be reaching out to you because they're too embarrassed or they don't want to intrude upon your family, but reach out to somebody.
Absolutely. I say all the time, and I think one of your friends or client did this and actually had it printed up for me. Social distancing does not mean social isolation. And so don't isolate, because we as human beings, we're not made up to do that without feeling the effects of it. So social distancing does not mean social isolation. And here it is. We always end our programs with this pretty much every time. I don't know how many times to say it or how to say it, but there is no shame in having mental health issues, having sadness, of feeling depressed, where you can't get out of it. If all the things that we just talked about, you're doing it and it's not working for you because you still are locked up and stuck in this feeling of doom and gloom, and you cannot shake it off, just call and ask for professional help. Ask for professional help. Yvonne and I were both psychotherapists. We both are seeing an influx of more people calling. Thank God that they're calling. Thank God that they're reaching out, because if not, they would be in their home really struggling on their own. And here's the thing, we're seeing an increase in divorces. We're seeing an increase in people having panic attacks. We're seeing an increase in suicide. We need to stop the situation where we can, the cycle of pain, by seeking help.
Right.
The suicide hotline, we want to give you that, 800-273-8255. If you are one of those folks that right now cannot get yourself unstuck and you're in this doom and gloom day after day, you do not need to suffer like that. Call 800-273-8255. Or if you're not suicidal, but just still feeling so sad, find a therapist. Yvonne and I are here for you, but find a therapist. If it's not us, find someone that's a professional, that is not a friend, that can help you with the right tools at the right time. That's super important. I hope this program was helpful to all of you. I hope that you will share it with others, because there are so many people hurting out there that may not even have the energy to get on to find a podcast. So you find it, you share it, because maybe you will save someone's life. So remember that every one of us is responsible for every one of us. We are human beings, and we're here to work together to get through everything that we can and uplift each other up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and whip it out, ladies. It's time to put on our lipstick attitude. We certainly know that we have gone through a lot this year. 2020 has been a year of challenges, but it also has been a year of pivoting, of reinventing, and of recreating. So for that, we're grateful for. Look for your blessings and put on your lipstick attitude no matter what. This is our war paint. This reminds us that we can do it and we will do it. It's awesome that we have a community such as SSL backing us and helping us feel the power of a community. So don't be afraid to reach out. You're not doing this alone. If you allow us to come in, you will see that you are part of a community that will always be there for you. So make sure you go to sslwomen.org and sign up and be part of this community and help us help children this holiday season. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We really appreciate your support and your love and all of your feedback. Continue to follow us and to reach out to us. We absolutely love to have you along. Thank you, Yvonne, for a great show.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And of course, stay well.
And stay sassy.
And stay sassy.
Bye, everybody.